everyone. Nate Prater, agronomist for Golden Harvest, and today we're out in a early planted cornfield. This cornfield was planted roughly almost 2.5 weeks ago in early April, and it has been under some stress, but not bad. It has had some cold weather. It has had some cooler temps, a cold rain, not a hard rain, but a good 1/2 inch, 3/4. And I want to show you some things that this corn plant is struggling with a little bit right now. It did emerge. It is coming up well, but there are some signs of a little bit of early damage. Nothing major. It's cosmetic, but we'll talk about it. So here's an example of some of these corn plants I was talking about. As you can see right here, we have some whitening and some yellowing and some discoloration on some of these newly emerged leaves. Now this corn hasn't been out of the ground for very long, 3 or 4 days, maybe 5, but it was planted 2.5 weeks ago, and in that 2.5 weeks there has been some definite weather changes. When it was planted, it was 80, 85 degrees, and we had 3 or 4 days, 5 days afterwards where it was still that warm. So that corn plant got off to a great start and started working its way to the soil surface. But in the meantime, the farmer sprayed his pre-emergent herbicide, which is a good thing. We recommend that. And the weather got cooler. We also received about a 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch of rain. So what is causing this discoloration to some of these newly emerged corn plants? Well, there's a couple things. Like I said, it got cold, and as this little spikelet, as it's wrapped up tight in the whorl and growing through the soil surface, it got close enough to the soil surface and it got cold enough that there could have been a little bit of frost damage on these leaf edges, especially like this one right here, as you can see. The very tip of that leaf may not have been emerged, but it could have been in one of these cracks in the ground or something like that, up close enough to the soil surface that cold air got to it and caused a little bit of a leaf burn. But probably the biggest concern we've got is the yellowing or the whiteness or the discoloration of these leaves, kind of in a striation pattern on the leaf. What caused that? Well, like I said, the grower applied his pre-emergent herbicide shortly after planting. And as that corn plant was growing up, the spikelet was starting to come through the soil, we got a cold, wet rain. And that cold, wet rain started pushing that hot layer of chemical down through the soil surface. Well, as that little corn plant's growing up through the soil surface, it hit the cooler air, it slowed down, but as it slowed down, it happened to be right in that layer of hot chemical that was working its way down. So it got a little extra dose of herbicide, and the plant cannot metabolize that, not at this young stage. So you can see this on some early corn plants, especially some that would have set in a hot, what I'm going to call a hot layer of chemical. You can see some of this whitening, discoloration of these early leaves. It's not something I'm super worried about. The corn will grow out of it a few nice warm sunny days like we're having today. The corn will grow out of it and it will be fine. But early on, you could see some of this on some of this earlier planted corn that got off to a good start 4 or 5 days after planting, and then it turned a little cooler with a layer of rain and pushing that hot layer of chemical down, and it just happens to be the perfect timing for that. So again, no concerns to worry about, but it's something that you might get questions on or have a question on yourself. So I hope this video helps and answers those questions for you. And as always, if you've got any concerns, contact your local Golden Harvest agronomist or seed advisor, and they can help you out. Thanks, and have a great day.